now let's take a look at our map here. And this is us. And notice how we are pointed straight forward. So I would say do not go this way. Let's make sure we go this way, where the actual refueling platform is. I think that is our priority here. So again, we want to do everything we can to help our friends out, and well, there might have been an opportunity for a minute there to get all these drones as they were refueling, but just hesitated a little bit too much, perhaps. Let's overload, ideally, all of them. And they got some big guns as well. As you might have heard Caden say just then, these are drones that would be going after all of our friends on the other side, but we're currently refueling. And you will get a notification when you get all of them. And that is another thing on the journal side here. We have destroyed the Geth flyers. So Kirgi's team will have an easier time now that the Geth flyers are destroyed. Keep an eye out for more ways to hinder the Geth. And the reason why it went bada boom so quickly and easily was because there was, well, a fuel tank here. And I believe that was presumably, oh dear. Thought we were gonna get stuck there for all of eternity for a second. But I believe that is why we see an exclamation point here. I'm not even sure if there's anything down in this area, other than potentially. This could even be a decent place to fight them if you get overwhelmed early, although as you saw there, a quick overload to hit the fuel tank and all the flyers right next to it is extremely effective. So now let's take another look at our map here, and if we go to the right, then we can head up down to the research facility. We do still have this area over here to the south, and I think we probably want to do that, which means that we want to double back the way we came from, which would be over here. And this can get a little confusing, all the winding pathways here, so I do recommend that you make a point of checking your map thoroughly. It's like that's the main research facility there, but we're looking to go this way instead. Like I said, it is important that you do all these things to help out your teammates. In particular, the one we just did with the flyers. That is, technically speaking, the most important. We did also get some more equipment here. Better Inferno rounds, kinetic exoskeleton, and combat optics. Okay. And we're just verifying on our map here. There's this little... I'm not even sure what to call this here. Sniper's post? Well, we're getting sniped from the sniper's post, but we got tungsten rounds and level 10 sledgehammer rounds, so that's cool. Not entirely sure what our friends are shooting at other than the wall. Speaking of sniper's posts, though, might even be a way to snipe future enemies from here, although they may not have spawned in yet. So let's try to keep a mental note of that spot there. And instead, let's focus our attention on whatever it is these guys, our teammates, have been shooting at. I thought I saw some Krogan out of the corner of my eye, and the answer is yes. So, in fact, a couple of them here. So this is a good opportunity for us to use Neural Shock, because it actually does work, and it is supposed to be used against organic enemies, such as this Krogan. So that's one down. And once Caden gets Neural Shock back, I'd love to use it again, because again, we barely use it at all, and technically speaking, there is an achievement for it. Now, one thing you can do is worse comes to worse. If you find that maybe you even completed the game and didn't get an achievement for one of the abilities because, well, you didn't really prioritize it, you can reload an old save and use that character's abilities or your own personal abilities a bunch of times to unlock the achievement that way. So, worst comes to... Really, Kate? You missed. Worst comes to worst, that is what we can do. But I'd like to... Since we have... shooting at. Again, the wall. They can shoot for a long time. Can we give them the frictionless materials? I'm actually curious how long you can go for it. It's pretty good, Rex. It's pretty good. Alright, let's move in a little closer. Of course, the Krogan, generally speaking, are best at close range, so it is best to keep them at a distance. Alright, now he's starting to charge. Neural Shock him, please. Thank you. That's what we were looking for all along. And so in some ways, that Neural Shock ability is almost like an alternative to our Stasis ability. Are there any more enemies here? Doesn't look like it. In which case, let's maybe step back a little bit and just be safe. Pull that up. Actually, one way, talking about other things that we still need to get achievements for, the metagel uses, that's another one. Get some gear here. It's actually, it's a decent set of armor there for Ashley, heavy human armor. But one other way that you can deliberately set yourself up to use the metagels, because, you know, you just say, oh, well, Lids, just press the metagel button. Alright, well, I'm pressing the metagel button, but everyone is at full HP right now, so it doesn't even let me. So you do actually need to have people take damage in order to have the metagel ability usable. Let's check if there's anything else down here. And one other way you can make that happen is by deliberately standing next to explosive containers, or probably safer to have a friend stand next to an explosive container and blow it up on them, and then immediately thereafter use a metagel to heal them. So thought did just occur to me there as we were standing next to one of those, that could have theoretically been a something we could have opted to do. That almost looks like a crate, but I think gotten all of them here. So, just to confirm, going through this area, we have taken out the communications tower. We have taken out the satellite uplink. Took out the drone flyers at the refueling platform. And then, technically speaking, there wasn't actually anything for us to help our teammates with over in this area, as much as it was just, there were a few Krogan for us to fight, which were worth a decent amount of experience, and of course, also a crate for us to open. But now that means all that we have left is the entrance to the facility, which is theoretically over here. So all these shields for, like, why don't we just make a point here, take some of these out, on the assumption that we're not seeing enemies here at the moment. Presumably, they will arrive at some point, like right now, and they would like to have those shields to help them. Now, we did see that sniping outpost previously. Probably best when you actually have someone who's capable of sniping, but it might even be worth trying here, unless we can have Hayden do another round of a neural shock. But we do kind of need to get closer to make that happen. And there are a lot of enemies here, as it turns out. And there you see it. So there's the message from Captain Kirby, and that is confirmation that we have in fact helped them. Primarily, as I was saying, the flyers are the most important part. And so it does affect the outcome of this mission, so for that reason, like I said, it's particularly important to make sure that you do that. But let's see, why don't we have Aiden neural shock this guy if possible, although I think you missed. Oh, we're about to get sniped as well. Yes, there are definitely enemies here. This is not the preferred way to do this. Like I said, best way would be ideally to fall back to that sniping outpost. I'm just not sure if that's in range for other abilities. Deliberately moving up closer than we should. Just try to force feed Hayden into using some neural shocks here on some actual organic enemies. This guy's taking... Oh, he did hit me. Sniper is somewhere over here, but I can't even see you. So I would like to... hold on. Just saw your name pop up. You're over here, apparently. We're in that cover there. So I'd like for Caden to neural shock here once he gets back, and then we will crowd control that sniper once they reappear as well. Now, this Krogan is just like, he's got the angle on us. Kind of, sort of. We could get Caden standing like right where we are. We might be able to hit it with neural shock. I would very much like for you to do. That's kind of the whole point of us doing this right now. You missed again. You missed again. Alright, tell you what. Plan will be we will use a, that's just an explosive container. I mean, again, more efficient way to do this, but I'm deliberately trying to get some achievements here. So let's instead, once Caden is off cooldown with neural shock, we'll lift this Krogan warrior out of cover. And then we'll set up Caden's neural shock from there. Not the most common of combos, I don't think. Lift plus neural shock. Lift plus throw, usually much more common. Alright, and someone did, in fact, blow up the container that I was thinking maybe we'd try to save it, but we can't even do that. Okay, now this Krogan warrior is out. Alright, Caden, you have a new target. you could actually use, rather than doing whatever that dance move was over there, if you could actually neural shock this guy, I'd greatly appreciate it. And now you've waited too long and he's got into cover. And now it's not working. So thanks, game. You have one job. You are specifically here to do neural shock. That is the primary, arguably the only reason why I brought you here. I'm deliberately not trying to kill these guys so that Caden has time to use it, so we can get the achievement. But, right, as you can see here, we of course are fairly tanky at the moment, or at least we're not taking enough fire for this to be too much of a problem. That sniper, though, that sniper is actually the real threat. Krogan, if they close on us, become much more of a threat. But okay, now you should be off. Now you should be off cooldown. Please neural shock this guy. Finally. Okay, there we go. And when they are neural shocked, they hold on. Let's deal with you. When they are neural shocked, they cannot regenerate any HP, similar to their state when they are they're lifted. Okay, so we got this Krogan over here. I would again love to be able to also lift out cover. Try to stasis you. Now, okay, so running up next to a Krogan, bad idea, generally speaking. We're gonna have Rex try to flush him out though. And well, not really working. So again, bad idea. But we'll lift him. And now we'll have Caden neural shock him. Right, that worked. In theory, there's one more enemy here, and I think it's a sniper based on that sound effect that we're hearing here. Let's run our barrier just to be safe. And we could, if we really wanted to, use this opportunity to sacrifice a friend, which I might proceed to do. And by might proceed to do, I mean, excuse me, Caden, you did not get hit. That's rude. Alright. Hello. And, oh, let's use Warp here if we can. That's another one that we need to do. Please don't hit us with your assault rifle, or with your sniper rifle from point blank. That's rude and uncalled for. Okay, so I believe at this stage, we have now taken care of all the enemies up here. There may be a little bit of loot in the area, though. Namely, that storage locker. Let's make sure we get that.
Hold the line, men. Hold the line.
There we go, Kirhi. Love to hear it. Okay, let's open this up. Get some Shredder rounds and frictionless materials 10. Okay, that's good. I was going to say, Shredder maybe not the most relevant here unless we're going against specifically Krogan. We look at our journal. Kirhi's team entered Saren'S base successfully, or about to, but Kirhi's team is still fighting a deadly battle. They will continue their push into the facility, but need time to extract themselves once the bomb is set. Okay? And then, we must infiltrate Saren'S base. We need to disable the AA guns so the Normandy can drop off the explosive. That is the next thing on our list. We've also, I think, picked up a little bit of additional equipment. Level 10 assault rifle. I don't think it's a very high rarity one, so I don't think that's our go-to plan here. Technically speaking, I believe we have a couple of options here. We can go through this store, which will take us through one way into the base, or alternatively, I think we can also, let's see, there's a way down over here. Oh, there's also another crate. Let's nab this. That's actually a very good pistol. Potentially good sniper rifle as well. I think that might be... We don't have that yet. We should probably throw that on ourselves. We have a Karpov 9. Yeah, so this is just a higher level version of our current pistol. So I think let's nab that for ourselves. That'll be helpful. Then what I'm looking for is I believe we can get down there. We just find this spot. Because if we do this, then there's also an entrance over here. It just takes some decryption to get through. So again, both ways into the base. One upstairs, the other right here. But they do take you into different areas in the base, I believe. And I think the outcome is, or at least stuff you run into, is different depending on what you go for. So let's go for this. At the very least, we got some additional experience from breaking through this door. But I think we may also prefer the stuff we find on the other side here. This is surprisingly a little bit difficult to get through. Hold on, we're running out of time here as well. Ooh, just in time. Well, there you have it. I think, did I just save? If I didn't, then I think it's worth doing so. Because, well, we are about to hop into the base. So let's do it. Okay, do we have our map updating it all in here? We do. We have a maintenance bay, and then, in theory, cell block A over here. Keep our eyes peeled, though. Looks like we're going in through the sewers, and that may be the case. Did, of course, go in through the basement. Okay. Got the door control here. And we've got some enemies of some variety. Indoctrinated is their name, and it's a little hard to tell from here. Let's neural shock them. They're not that difficult to take out. There are more where those came from, though. But you may find they look a little familiar. Because, well, they are indoctrinated, yes, of course. The name does give so much away. But they are also Saren'S. And I believe these are the first, and perhaps even only, Saren'S that we fight. Literally stasising that guy to just give us another potential neural shock target. And why don't we grab it? Warp view. And then remember that our friends will not deliberately target stasis people unless we deliberately tell them to. Oh, I wasn't quick enough to re-stasis them. Oh man. Does that mean his men have been indoctrinated and turned into some kind of shock troops for Saren? I hope not. Got level 10 kinetic, exoskeleton, and fusion explosive. That might even be. Yeah, the more indoctrination we hear about, the worse it gets, seemingly. But that explosive upgrade may in fact be best for us. So we're still using the anti-thorium gas, which I don't think is really what we're looking for here. Oh, fusion explosive is the toxic one. Toxic damage. I was going to say high explosive. I think either way we do want to switch, but high explosive I like just because it gives you some additional AoE, which I think is sometimes needed on the grenades because they're a little bit tough to aim and time the actual explosion on correctly. Okay, but we in theory are expecting to run into some additional enemies over here. Let's see. Then we've got a security console. Let's access the base security over, okay?
We've got access to base security. Should be able to cut the alarms from here. Might even be able to trigger alarms on the far side of the base. It'll clear the guards out for us, but they might be too much for Williams and the Saren'S to handle.
Okay, so we can deliberately trigger the alarms elsewhere on the base, so that all the Geth get moved over to address their perceived issue over there. Thing is, of course, well, we have friends on the other side of the base, so this does actually have an impact on the outcome of this mission, or at least the enemies that we will face, so we can choose to take the easy way out and send the extra troops over to them, or we can say, nah, we can handle it. To which I'd say, nah, we can handle it.
Just disable the alarms. We can handle any guards inside.
And that does also give us some Paragon points as well, so that's good. And we, of course, by choosing that option, as you can probably guess, means we will have more enemies to fight. Let's make sure our weapons are primed and ready to go here. And we do see, in theory, some enemies around here. Where exactly, though, remains to be seen. Okay, well, we've got a bunch of crates here. High-level items, yes, though I don't think of terribly high rarity, unfortunately. And so now you see why I was saying before that we really want to make sure that we free up a lot of space in our inventory, because we're going to get a lot of loot here, and this is huge. Savant 10 is the best biotic amp in the game at the highest level. So this is what we want. We want to consistently be getting level 10 items so that when we get the highest rarity stuff, we get it at level 10. And biotic amps and omni tools are, of course, among, if not the hardest items to get because they are so rare. So that is a huge pickup. And, well, I think we have currently Liara as our best biotic amp. She's using a lower level version of Savant, maybe 7, but it's either us or Caden here. And as you can see, same duration as our current Omni tool, or rather biotic amp, but that's the best stat on our existing biotic amp. Whereas the power bonus all the way up to 40, cooldown bonus all the way up to 40 as well. It is extremely good. So, let's nab it. And then, of course, we actually have 2 biotics on our team right now. So, let's see. Rex, what does your biotic amp look like? Are you using exactly the same one? Okay. Alright. Suppose that'll do. Let's see. So then, does, we get an update for Captain Kirahi's team after not choosing to send the extra people over to them? By disabling the alarm, you've taken some of the heat off Kirahi's team. Their task should be much easier now. Okay, so yeah, again, doing any and everything we can do to try to help Captain Kirahi. But I repeat, the flyers, technically speaking, still the most important. Alright, but they're still not found these enemies that are, in theory, here somewhere. And for a second I was like, what, Caden? What did you do? Appears to be someone up here. Yep, it's an indoctrinated person again. So let's stasis them again. Try to have Caden neural shock some people. And what I'd love to have happen be to have our friends go down here, not kill this dude, and then just wait for Caden to get neural shock off recharge, then we'll send them back up here. Finish the job. This is just like a super easy target for neural shock. This guy is, or for anything really. It's indoctrinated our not exactly the most powerful of enemies we've ever encountered. Our stasis is quite long, the duration. Okay, now he's out of stasis. Of course, Caden does also have stasis, but his is comparatively not nearly as strong. So now, Caden, if you could come up here, por favor. Rex is currently blocking you, but if you could come up here. Like I said, fortunately, our stasis does have a very long duration. So you should be able to then neural shock this guy. And, funnily enough, when he's in stasis, he does not get dropped down to the ground, which is normally what happens when you neural shock anybody. But, not when they're stasis. So, I mean, I guess we can do it again. It actually takes away the visual effect from the stasis, so that's strange. Looks like just a random person who's completely frozen. When in truth, he's frozen because of the stasis, which would normally turn them blue. Okay, so now let's stasis you again. And now let's bring Caden up again. Caden, again, if you could not get blocked by Rex, that'd be lovely. And then I'm guessing that this round Neural Shock is gonna kill this guy. So I think that's gonna be our last chance to do this. Does have damage over time, so even if he's not going down immediately, thinking that eventually he's gonna go down to this. Eventually. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Actually not sure how exactly the Stasis plus Neural Shock combo works. No? Or maybe it's just that Caden, I believe, only has level 1 Neural Shock, which is, of course, well, quite weak. So, there you're seeing. In terms of how much damage it does, the answer is very, very little. Because again, this is one of the weakest enemies that we... Possibly even the weakest enemy from here... No, not Neural... Yes, Neural Shock, that is right. Okay. Possibly the weakest enemy that we'll be encountering at this stage in the game now. But, only a level 1 ability is not exactly a huge game changer there. It's mostly just that, it incapacitates people momentarily. Alright, we don't have any need for Metagel at the moment because we are at the maximum, so I suppose we just leave that. And looks like we're headed up this way. Let's take a look at our map again. And now we are in a totally different area. It's the Vermeer Labs. In fact, I didn't even look at the name previously, but I imagine, in fact, if we take 2 steps down, we might be able to confirm. We go down this way. We are in Zilba Labs. Hold on. Hold on. That's probably just the difference being this door. This is called the Detainment Level, which is a great name. Sure, if I were at this base, I would love being in the Detainment Level. Another level 10 weapon as well. But, Okay, now let's carry on. And let's see what we have here. These consoles, doesn't look like we can interact with them in any way. Then we have some cells. With seemingly more indoctrinated Salarians. That's not good. This guy is... Yeah, he seems to have lost it. Does seem to have lost it. And anything just looks like a crate, but I don't think we can loot it. And... About you?
What do you want?
Oh!
I told you everything. Who are you? Alliance, right? I knew someone would come. It tried to break me, but it couldn't. I shut it out.
So, this guy is seemingly coherent, at least certainly in comparison to the previous Salarian that we were talking to. So, are you okay? What exactly have they been doing to you?
Slow down. I need to know where you came from.
Private Mano Savant of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment STG, sir. Captured well on reconnaissance 6 days ago. Glad to answer, sir. Never any questions from these bastards. Just whispers and poking and cutting. I said anything to get out and get some payback. That's not too much to ask, is it? A little payback?
Okay, I mean, do seem more sane, certainly, than the previous guy, but something in your tone of voice is just a little quiveringness to it that sounds like, if given the chance, you would just still go completely crazy. So, what exactly happened?
What did they do to you, soldier?
Experiments, but I don't know what for. The effect of incessant whispering on my shortening temper? Who knows? I just need out.
Something's not right here, Commander.
Yeah, Caden, I think you're not wrong about that. We can either forget about him and presumably leave him in here, or we can say, we really should do something to get him out of here. And, well, I mean, I agree with Caden that something is clearly not right, but I think we do it nonetheless. We give it a shot.
If we don't let him out, he's as good as dead. We have to do something.
Yes, leaving here would be bad. Very bad. It's too small and the noise just won't go away.
Yeah, he's clearly pretty insane.
Out, I need to get out. Let me out.
And so again, we have the option here of either basically leaving him in here as a prisoner or letting him out. Of course, the question being, just how sane is this guy if we do let him loose?
Set him free. He could help us.
Yes, sir. You'll find I am very good at following orders. I should be. I hear them over and over. Why are they repeated when they're so simple? Simple!
Except, he then gets a little bit worked up here, and as you can see, does in fact lose his mind as soon as we let him out. So, along with the other indoctrinated Salarians over here. So let's stasis this guy. Let's have Caden neural shock this guy. That's not the guy I wanted you to neural shock, but sure. Then, did Caden get... Caden might have gotten dampened, which is actually an ability that prevents him from using any other abilities, because you see here that he's blocked. Suppose in that case, let's have Rex use Warp. No, now Caden can do it. Okay, so now let's stasis this guy, and I'm deliberately, again, trying to stasis people to give Caden some time to get off cooldown. No, this guy is not dead yet. Kinda assumed that he would be. If you guys could not kill him, that'd be lovely, except he did. Hoping we could just get a little more time to get Caden off cooldown again. But if we could have you guys, like, if you could even, like, hide in there, which I'm not even sure if you can, but good. Okay, because I want him stasis before he dies. Darn it. Okay, we'll get this guy. At the very least, we also may be stuck in this wall. We are definitely stuck in this wall. We are no longer stuck in this wall. Okay, this guy is gonna get himself killed by going over there. See if Caden's fast enough with the neural shock. I think he was. But okay. So as you saw, we tried to free those guys, but in doing so, they clearly already had lost their minds, and so they just attacked us, even if we were trying to help them. But I do believe, I didn't get the chance to look very closely at the bottom right corner at the time, but I believe you get a large dose of Paragon points if you free them, and then a large dose of Renegade points if you choose to leave them in there. Of course, leaving them in there, you don't fight them, but You also get the Renegade points, so you also don't get the experience from fighting them either. There's a little bit of a benefit to it for that reason as well, and a tiny bit of gear as well. Okay. Then, what do we have here? Presumably, by the looks of things, more enemies. Yup, more indoctrinated. Okay, so let's again stasis one of them, and then have Caden neural shock the other. And then, again, if we are getting really aggressive with this, deliberately have our friends retreat here a bit. Or even have Caden stasis this guy too. Or we can even close the door if we back up enough. Give Caden time. Get off cooldown. But Rex? No. Bad Rex. Bad Rex. Bad Rex. 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 Over here. Rex. Rex. You are ignoring me, Rex. Stand here. Preferably more quickly than that. Ideally, so that you're not actually, like, aiming at these people. Capable of shooting them and what have you. Okay, now go up there. No, up there. Up there. Good. Now we move Caden in instead. Okay, then again, let's have us stasis one of them, and Caden neural shock the other. Okay, good, good. Now, Caden, I guess if you could stasis this guy too, that'd be great. Now they're both stasis, so in theory, no one's gonna attack them. But if anyone's hanging out here, then we'd prefer for it to be Caden, for sure. He's the one that we are trying to focus on. I think Neural Shock he's the only one who has that, whereas I think, we don't have Warp, but I think that, Liara does, so it's not as urgent for Rex to get that done. Okay, Caden is almost off cooldown. Actually, don't think the Slayerians can open this door by themselves. Okay, so again, let's stasis this guy ourselves. Then let's have Caden neural shock this guy, which I think is gonna, take that guy out. So now, Caden, you can retreat. We'll wait for you to get neural shock off cooldown. So we should be getting, I don't know how close we're getting at this point to finishing neural shock. I think it's, 25 uses you need total? And, we used it, maybe twice before, Vermeer. Maybe, just about, yeah. And then I don't know how many we've used it actually in Vermeer. But, of course, it's much quicker if you just sort of naturally weave it in throughout combat, but, since we really did not use it much at all previously, trying to, that at all? It's, hey, really, dude? For all that, you freaking miss? But, after kind of force-feeding it here, is, and needing to, or trying to wait for it to come off cooldown every time, it does, of course, sort of, by definition, make it take longer. Yeah, like, this guy's standing right in front of the door on the other side, but he clearly cannot open it, otherwise he would do so right now and shoot us in the face. So that's interesting. He'll try to shoot, but he cannot shoot through that wall, or that might even be Caden for all I know. Okay, so he should be right here. Caden, neural shock him, please. Oh my goodness, Caden. You have missed 2 neural shocks in a row. You are fired. You are fired, Caden. Stop this. Stop this nonsense. Stop shooting him. He's stasis. You're not supposed to do that. It's against the rules. Against the rules, Caden? Please, well, actually, I wanted you to back up, but... you can actually stasis him, or rather, you can neural shock him while he's stasis. We have confirmed this. So, no. Guess we don't really need you to retreat as soon as we stasis him. Okay. Should be pretty good now. There we go. Alright, Caden. Apparently, we need to have you standing right here. You to learn that is the target you're looking for. No, yeah, when we stasis him, he suddenly starts standing up. Stop shooting him. Okay. So the question is, Caden's cooldown versus our stasis duration. how do they line up, but also we can just close this door whenever we're trying to do this. So, you know, we'll do maybe one more, and then we'll be done with it. We'll be done force-feeding Caden. So I think we've made it closer, of course, to getting the achievement, but I don't think we're you know, just a few uses away. I think it'll still take a bit longer, so in the interest of not spending the rest of eternity here. There we go, and that is, of course, now up to get rid of that guy.
Don't want them to bunker up. Draw them out.
Okay. Sounds like things are going okay. The other team. This is a little bit tough to break through this. There we go. Anything notable here? I mean, we are definitely consistently getting level 10 items now. It's just that, not always the best rarity, although really cannot complain after getting the Biotic Amp at level 10. That was one of, if not the highest priority things we wanted to get. That and an Omni Tool of the highest rarity at level 10 as well. Now, let's take a look at our map here. We have an elevator to the detainment cells, to the lab, and also to the labs. I actually don't recall as to which of these we might want to go to first. Let's see. I think that's the one we just came through, right? Over here. So it's definitely not that. I think we go detention cells. Did I say detainment? Detention. Actually, hold on. We have 2 doors over here. What? Ah, okay. Warehouse, maintenance. This might even be locked. Or not. Does this take us to the same area at the end of the day? Just sort of a way around. Cell block A. Don't think we've been here before. Oh no, this is the place where we ran into this Solarian.
You're not wearing a lab coat. I guess I'm glad to see you. Lieutenant Gonto Imnes of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment.
Have we seen this guy before? No, I think this is a different one.
I assume the fleet
Different
was called
person?
in to destroy the base.
Yeah. Fleet is maybe a strong word.
Transmission wasn't clear. The fleet's not coming.
I see. Then you must be the infiltration team. I know the captain. He will want this facility destroyed. My team was altered, indoctrinated. He knew about the breeding grounds. But the indoctrination is a greater threat, and far more horrifying. I watched good people reduced to mindless husks. There isn't anything left. Others died during the experiments. I envy them.
Okay. Can you tell us about the research?
Do you know anything about the experiments they were conducting?
They were studying indoctrination. Symptoms, progress. Saren uses it to control his people, but I don't think he fully understands it. I don't know much else. I just saw what it did to the others. Turned them into empty husks. I can't end up like that, please. Let me out.
Okay. Of course, we saw what happened last time we tried to let someone out here. Didn't end up too well. This guy does seem a little more... Well, I mean, first person we ran into in one of these cells was just completely incoherent. Just, basically, I don't know, like, mumbling and moaning and yelling and what have you. Second guy, the one that we actually were able to have a conversation with, we obviously let out, and then in doing so also let out the other Solarians. That didn't end so well. But this guy seems like he is more mentally with it, so to speak, than even that previous person that we spoke to. Let's see if we can trust him.
I'm opening your cell, but then you're on your own.
Don't look back and hope to outrun the blast, A better chance than I had before you showed up. Thank you, human. And good luck. You'll need it.
And we get some Paragon points there. And that Solarian is now gone, but we have a bunch of Solarians in here. And one in here that we can't seem to interact with, and that one looks empty as well. Take a look at this here.
No threat here, Commander. Are they even aware of us?
Oh, this is no way to treat a prisoner. Kill them, sure. leave them like this.
Yeah, so in this case, it looks like, again, basically subjects of scientific experiments, almost certainly against their will. I think we can say definitively, against their will. But, question is, do we let them out to be free, or do we leave them in here? Question again being, are they dangerous if we let them out, in which case, maybe that's not a good idea? Or, of course, if we can save them from being subject to additional experiments, then that's probably something that would be the morally right thing to do. And it does seem as if, based on those observations that we and our teammates were just making, that these guys just seem to be totally out of it. And they might not be so much just crazy and, about to attack us as much as, who even knows what they would do if we let them out. It looks like they would just fall asleep. So let's try it.
Open the doors. Give them a chance to outrun the blast.
Are you sure? We should at least stay here.
So, and Rex is saying, at this point, they're just being tortured, basically, or living in this debilitated state is torture, so we should just kill them, or eliminate them, as it says here, but they don't seem to be a threat, unlike the other ones that seemed like they were, just waiting to break out of their cage and go crazy.
Let them out. They won't hurt us.
All right, Commander, but I don't like it.
This will give us some Paragon points as well. And
It never sleeps.
we can chat with some of them here.
It goes, and I must follow.
I am only what it wants me to do. It is emptiness.
Okay. Lovely speaking with you all. We've gotta go.